So, AEW Revolution is tomorrow, and I'm gonna say it's a pretty interesting card. Obviously, the big talking point being the retirement of the icon himself, Sting. But there is a very, very big card brewing. There's some interesting stuff happening, and I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna give my predictions and my thoughts on all of the matches on AEW Revolution. So on the 0 hour, I know for a fact Tony's going to add more tomorrow. That's going to be interesting. But the 0 hour is currently Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale taking on Julia Hart and Sky Blue. It's an interesting one. I'll give it that. It's, we're getting more women's matches on a pay-per-view, which is a shocker. But I just don't know if this is necessarily the right move at the moment. I know the whole story going on is, the whole Stokely Hathaway, Chris Statlander stuff, but I don't know if this is beneficial to either party to take a loss here. I'm gonna go with Sky Blue and Julia Hart to pick up the win. I think they need the win more, especially seeing as Julia is the TBS champion. So I'm just gonna take the safe bet on the team with the champion on the side, and let's see how that goes. Then we have Oh wait, what? What do you mean they cancelled Meat Madness? What do you mean they put Meat Madness on hold? The biggest travesty of the night is the fact that we're not getting Meat Madness, but instead we are getting an 8-man all-star scramble. I know most of them, it's like Wardlow, Hobbs, Archer, Jericho, Hook, Brian Cage, and I think they announced that Magnus from CMLL, I think, is in there. So I think we got one more being announced tonight. I know it's been taped, so I know who it is, but I'm not gonna say who it is because I don't think they're gonna win anyway. I'm gonna go with Wardlow. It's an all-star scramble. I feel like Wardlow was probably gonna win Meat Madness anyway, so you might as well give him the win in the all-star scramble and continue to build him up towards the AEW World Championship. We then have the Blackpool Combat Club versus FTR, and this one is pretty interesting, I would say, because it could go either way. I think it really all depends on that tag title match, which I feel like is a foregone conclusion in a way, but we'll get onto that in a second. I'm gonna go with Blackpool Combat Club. I'm going to go with Moxley and Claudio to get the win over FTR. I think there might be more to come between these two teams. Maybe one more match because they drew. And then if one wins at Revolution, then, we need to run it back at some point. So I think you give it to the Blackpool Combat Club at Revolution. Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita. Ospreay. It's his debut match. They're going to have a fantastic match. Takeshita's brilliant. Ospreay's brilliant. But Ospreay needs to win. Ospreay should win, especially seeing as they've now confirmed he will be at All In at Wembley, which he's probably going to headline most likely. So get him a win now, build him up. He's probably going to take the world title at Wembley regardless of who the champion is at the time. So I think it's a safe bet to say that Ospreay is picking up the win at Revolution. Then we have the International Championship, Orange Cassidy defending against Roderick Strong, the Undisputed Kingdom. You know my stance on them, and this is the time for them to start building up the Undisputed Kingdom. I said the All-Star Scramble was going to be won by the Undisputed Kingdom's Wardlow, and I think that the International Championship is going to be won by Roderick Strong. I just see it happening. I think Roderick is the kind of guy that you could slap that international title on, and he's going to have a really good run with that belt. I genuinely think that, and I think it's going to be the start of that slow build towards the Undisputed Kingdom being the best faction in AEW history. I'm still on that train. And then we have the TNT Championship match, Christian Cage versus Daniel Garcia. I would love to say that Daniel Garcia is winning the belt, but it's Christian Cage. I absolutely love everything Christian Cage has been doing, so there's no point in him dropping the TNT Championship. I know that it's going to continue the Christian Cage, Adam Copeland stuff. I love Adam Copeland. Edge is like one of my favorite wrestlers. No, he is my favorite wrestler of all time, if we're being completely honest. It's him and Mick Foley. But I really don't want that feud to continue. So maybe if you keep the belt on Christian, maybe you could just leave Copeland out of that for a little bit when he comes back. Hopefully, I don't know. We then have the Continental Crown Championship on the line. Eddie Kingston defending against Bryan Danielson. I feel like this is a relatively obvious one, or at least I think it would be. I'd hope it would be. I thought like they continue the momentum that Eddie Kingston has had for a long time, and I think a big win for Eddie Kingston on pay-per-view for that championship makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to go with Eddie Kingston to retain the Continental Crown Championship. Then there is the Women's World Championship match. Deonna Purrazzo taking on Timeless Toni Storm. Cue the monochrome. I can't click, if you couldn't tell. It's Timeless Toni Storm. I mean, come on now. Like, Toni Storm is, like, the best thing in the women's division right now. Genuinely, she is fantastic. Her character is incredible, and don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Deonna Purrazzo. I think she's fantastic, but it's not the time to end the reign of Timeless Toni Storm, so I think she's going to retain. Then we have the AEW World Championship match. Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, Hangman Adam Page. As much as I would love to say that Swerve Strickland is going to get the championship, the fact that it's a triple threat tells me that Joe is going to probably get the win over Hangman to then build up to Swerve potentially taking the belt at maybe Double or Nothing, or if they do a pay-per-view in April or whatever. I think Swerve's time will come, but I don't think it's at Revolution. I think Samoa Joe is going to retain. I think the triple threat just makes it a little bit, not obvious, but very much indicated that there's a very high chance that Joe retains due to the rivalry of Swerve and Hangman. And then, as long as I'm not mistaken, and unless Tony adds like 6 more matches between now and tomorrow, I believe there's only one more match, and that is the World Tag Team Championship match and Sting's retirement match. Sting and Darby Allin defending against Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the Young F Buckets. If we're being completely honest, that's probably what they would like to be known. Or Ye Olde Bucks. I don't know. As much as it would be so cool in a way to have Sting and Darby win, Sting rides off into the sunset with the tag titles. That man has never, I don't think that man has ever lost a match in AEW. So it'd be really cool to have him, you know, retire undefeated. I do think you have to put somebody over. As much as Darby has been put over in this Sting run, do you think the Young Bucks win the tag titles? I think they do. I think the Young Bucks are going to become, is it 3-time AEW World Tag Team Champions? And this is where things get interesting because, you know, you've got the Blackpool Combat Club and FTR gunning for the belts, and I think they are 2 really good feuds for the Young Bucks. So I think you give it to the Young Bucks, and I think Sting rides off into the sunset. I think this will probably main event the show, and it's going to be a good time had by all. I do think the Revolution is going to be a really, really fun show as well. So let me know what you guys think about Revolution in the comments below. Let me know what your predictions are, and I will see you all next time.